The Galactic Federation Academy prided itself on training the finest military personnel in the known universe. Recruits from over 200 species bumped, trained, and occasionally fought together in preparation for careers defending their respective worlds and the greater interests of the Federation. No cadet, however, had ever caused as much confusion and consternation as Jack Thompson, the first human accepted into the Academy's elite combat program. Drill Sergeant Clicks, a six-limbed reptilian with scales like polished obsidian, had served as an instructor for 32 cycles. Nothing in that considerable experience had prepared him for the human Deathworlder. "That creature sleeps too much," Clicks complained to his fellow instructor, the towering insectoid Vryn. "Humans waste a third of their lives unconscious, inefficient species." Vryn's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. The Academy Committee knew what they were getting when they admitted a Deathworlder. Their physical capabilities offset their peculiarities. Those peculiarities had been on full display since Jack arrived 3 months ago. The human's endurance was legendary. He could run for hours when most cadets collapsed after minutes. His strength, while not matching the heavy-gravity species, far exceeded expectations for his size. Most disturbing to the instructors, however, was his apparent immunity to pain. During a live-fire exercise, Jack had been struck by a training round that would have incapacitated most cadets. He simply looked at the wound, shrugged, and continued the mission. Later, the medical staff discovered he had completed the exercise with 2 fractured ribs. "Pain is information," Jack had explained when questioned. "Sometimes you need to acknowledge it and move on." This morning, however, Jack had failed to report for duty. The Academy's annual surprise readiness drill, a simulated invasion, was scheduled, and every cadet was expected to respond immediately to the alarms. Except Jack remained asleep in his bunk, despite sirens wailing at a volume that caused discomfort to even the hardiest species. "Wake up, Earth creature!" Clicks shouted, bursting into the dormitory. The other bunks were empty, their occupants already at battle stations. Jack didn't stir. Vryn arrived moments later. "The alarm has been sounding for 7 minutes. Is the human dead?" Clicks approached cautiously. "Thompson, the Academy is under attack. This is not a drill." This was, of course, a lie. It was absolutely a drill, but desperation was setting in. Jack continued sleeping, his chest rising and falling peacefully. "Perhaps a medical emergency," Vryn suggested, genuine concern in his multifaceted eyes. Clicks jabbed Jack's shoulder with a clawed finger. "Nothing." He tried again, harder. Jack mumbled something incomprehensible and rolled over. "Impossible," Vryn whispered. "The alarm is calibrated to wake even hibernating species." Their confusion transformed to panic when the Academy's actual emergency system activated. A different tone, higher-pitched and pulsing. "This is not part of the drill," Click said, his scales darkening with fear. The Academy's AI announced, "Warning, unauthorized vessels breaching atmosphere. Hostile intent confirmed. This is not a simulation." "The Krell," Vryn hissed. "They must have learned of the drill and timed their attack accordingly." The Krell, an aggressive race of raiders, had harassed Federation outposts for decades. An actual invasion of the Academy was unprecedented. "We must evacuate the cadets," Clicks said, moving toward the door. "Thompson is your responsibility." Vryn hesitated, then shook Jack violently. "Human, wake up!" Jack opened one eye. "What time is it?" "The Academy is under actual attack." Vryn's antennae quivered with frustration. Jack sat up slowly, stretched, and yawned. "Real attack, not the drill?" "Yes, the Krell air." An explosion rocked the building. Dust rained from the ceiling. "Huh," Jack said, reaching under his pillow and retrieving a small device. "Good thing I set this up then." "What is that?" Clicks demanded, pausing at the doorway. "Remote trigger. Last night I noticed unusual communications frequencies. Figured someone might try something during the drill." Jack pressed a button. "Just activated the defense grid modifications I installed last week." Clicks and Vryn stared at him. "You modified Academy defenses without authorization?" Vryn's voice rose an octave. "Had trouble sleeping," Jack shrugged. Needed a project. The building shook again, but this time the sound was different. More controlled, rhythmic. Jack grinned. That's our guns, not theirs. He tapped his wrist communicator. Thompson to command. Krell vessels targeted. Recommend evacuation of North Quadrant as precautionary measure. The Academy commander's voice replied, confusion evident. Thompson, how are you? No time, sir. Defense grid is targeting Krell ships automatically, but I suggest fighter deployment to handle escape pods. Sending targeting data now. Jack finally stood, pulling on his uniform with unhurried movements. Might want to check on the other cadets. First real combat can be stressful. Klix and Vryn followed Jack outside, where they witnessed Krell ships retreating, pursued by Academy fighters. The defense systems, now firing with unprecedented accuracy, had already destroyed 3 enemy vessels. Later, in the commander's office, Jack explained, insomnia is common for humans under stress. Instead of lying in bed, I work. Noticed the defense grid had vulnerabilities. Fixed them, he shrugged. As for missing the drill alarm, worked through the night. Finally fell asleep around dawn. Regular alarms don't wake me when I'm that tired. The Academy commander, a veteran of 3 interstellar conflicts, regarded Jack with a mixture of awe and exasperation. You're saying you reprogrammed our entire defense system because you couldn't sleep? Yes, sir. And you slept through an invasion because you were tired from staying up all night implementing unauthorized modifications to military hardware. That's accurate, sir. The commander looked at Klix and Vryn, who stood rigid with shock. The humans saved the Academy. Vryn said reluctantly. The commander sighed. Cadet Thompson, you're receiving a commendation for your actions today, followed by 3 days of disciplinary confinement for unauthorized systems access. Understood, sir, Jack replied, hiding a yawn. May I request the confinement includes a comfortable bed? This, Klix realized, was why the Federation had sought Deathworlders as allies rather than enemies. Their unpredictability was matched only by their inexplicable effectiveness, and their ability to sleep through absolutely anything.